Lots of video game showcases this week with lots of games to talk about. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, September 26th, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. The biggest showcase that happened this week was Sony's State of Play ahead of the Tokyo Game Show, which is happening this weekend. And yeah, Sony had a massive State of Play, gave us a lot of games that we can look forward to coming out like Q1 next year and beyond. I don't think there was anything that was announced like within the next few months that was big, but the showcase started off strong with the next game from Housemarque, the developers of the award-winning Returnal game. Their new game is called Saros, S-A-R-O-S, and it is coming in March of 2026, March 20th, 2026. Yeah, I played Returnal. It was an awesome game, so excited to see that Housemarque is moving on to a new game. The gameplay looks very similar, but somewhat evolved and elevated, because they showed off like 5 or so minutes of gameplay. And yeah, it's not, I don't think it's narratively related, but yeah, you can definitely see that they've kind of upgraded it. It looks like it's got some of that bullet hell vibes that you got from Returnal. And we'll see kind of what's coming, and having a confirmed release date is really nice. So you can look forward to playing that in March. We get to see the next game coming from Zaum, the developers of Disco Elysium, another award-winning game. Their new game Parades, and there's a couple other words after that. Looks pretty cool. We get to see some gameplay, and it looks very Disco Elysium-esque, except for it seems like the protagonist is probably a lot more capable than the cop was in Disco Elysium. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how they blend stories with the similar mechanics that we got in Disco Elysium, and what it's like being capable in the game that they're designing. So kind of excited for Zero Parades. Halloween is the upcoming asymmetrical horror game by the same developers who made the recently deceased Friday the 13th game. That one's got a confirmed release date of September 8th of next year. So, we're 11 months away from that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of asymmetrical horror games. This one all focused around Mike Myers. So it'll be interesting to see what the Friday the 13th developers, how they have evolved their kind of gameplay, and how that's going to match up to Michael Myers and all that stuff. We got Neo 3. So all you Ninja Gaiden fans out there who want to play a not quite Ninja Gaiden game, Neo 3 is coming February 6th, which I think is somewhat of a leak, but February 6th of next year. So yeah, really filling in Q1 with all these Sony games. Code Vein is getting a sequel coming, which they announced at the State of Play. Code Vein 2 is coming. They also, after I think a couple weeks ago, I talked about how Sony or PlayStation is doing their own like branded like PC products and other kind of like gaming products. The first of which seems like these speakers. There was a kind of a 30-second kind of showcase where they're showing off just kind of these PlayStation branded speakers, which look like they are for a computer monitor or potentially you plug into your PlayStation directly. I'm not quite sure how that'll work, but yeah, they've got these kind of like Spire like speakers that'll potentially work with your computer, but are PlayStation branded, which is interesting, and not like Sony branded because Sony has their own stuff. But another piece of hardware that I thought looked cool coming out of the PlayStation State of Play was the God of War 20th Anniversary controller. It's got the Kratos kind of like red spike coming down one of the handles. Otherwise, it's got the white and kind of like the blue coloring to it. That goes up for pre-order next week, which I'm excited for. And last but not least, they had the showstopper at the end with 7 minutes of people talking about, people from Insomniac talking about Marvel's Wolverine. And by God, some of the gameplay they showed off is super brutal. It looks visceral and gross. They talk about the blood tech and the kind of behind the scenes dev stuff that they talked about during the, after the main video cinematic. They brought on the character who seems to be kind of really embodying Wolverine. So all of that's to say that we're not playing Spider-Man anymore. No friendly neighborhood Spider-Mans in this one. Wolverine will tear you apart, and it looks awesome. As someone who played the like X-Men Origins Wolverine game from over a decade ago, like it kind of gave me those vibes. Hopefully they don't do too much shark jumpy, but they already introduced kind of like Omega Red and the Sentinels and Mystique, so it'll be interesting. They also said they're going to Japan, so we can do maybe some Death of Wolverine stuff. I don't know if we'll get to Old Man Logan or anything like that, but pretty exciting stuff, and excited to see Wolverine. And they announced a window with fall of 2026, so hopefully, we get this in the kind of August September timeframe, which would be pretty sweet for that game. And having not played any of the Insomniac Marvel games, I am excited for Wolverine. I like Wolverine a little bit more than I like Spider-Man, so looking forward to that. There was a bunch of other games. If you feel I forgot any, feel free to leave a comment down below. Moving on to actual games launching this week, Hades 2 is officially leaving early access and launching this week. It's apparently better than the first one, according to its Metacritic score at 94. The first Hades got a 93. And yeah, I think a lot of people have been kind of waiting for it to leave early access. So now that it is here, I assume you're going to lose a lot of friends who you're either already playing Silksong or still getting the crap kicked out of them in that, so that they can get the crap kicked out of them by some Greek gods in Hades 2. And having not played Silksong yet, maybe I can just jump straight to the crap kicking in the Greek pantheon, as I did enjoy my time with Hades 1. So looking forward to picking that up. One of the big announcements this week, not tied to any of the other showcases, but that I'm very excited for, the Xbox and Kojima and Jordan Peele game that has kind of been hinted at, and all we knew about it was that it was called OD, just two letters, OD, and that it had Sophie Lillis in it. We finally have a full name. The game is called OD Knock, and we got like probably a snippet, like 30 seconds of gameplay with like bookended by cinematics that make it look very real, and it gives you as much of the PT vibes as they could possibly fit into like the 30 seconds of gameplay or of kind of environment setting and world setting that we got in the game. So yeah, I am very much looking forward to that. Anybody who's picked up a PlayStation 4 and was playing it, 10 years ago will tell you how momentous PT was and how influential it was, even though it was just a playable test. That's what PT stood for a Silent Hill 2 game or a Silent Hill game that never got made. So yeah, I'm excited for it. And my God, it gives me all those PT vibes that kind of really, got me into horror. Like I was not into horror until I played PT, and then it was like the entire summer, it was just, let's all sit down and play PT again. Or have you played PT? Well, great. You're going to sit down and you're going to play it right now. So yeah, I'm very excited for OD Knock, but with what limited stuff we have on it, I doubt this is like a 2026 thing, and maybe more like a 2027 thing. Electronic Arts is looking to go independent with a $50 billion deal funded by the Saudi Public Fund. So they're getting the Saudi Public Investment Fund is looking to back EA in their, buying themselves independent. I don't quite know how you go from publicly traded to independent, but they're looking to pay a whole lot of money to do that. And I don't think this is necessarily again, I'm not like a financial analyst or anything like that. I don't know that this is a good thing. I would think that maybe if they're not beholden to public shareholders, some good comes of that, but I maybe I'm wrong, and that it's just all bad. But a lot of money is going to be changing hands, and EA is trying to go private. So probably a bad thing. Let me know how specifically bad it is down below in the comments. Moving on to some good news. The CEO of Nintendo of America, Doug Bowser, I still question whether or not that is his given name, but Doug Bowser, after 6 years, is retiring. He quotes the successful launch of the Nintendo Switch 2 as one of the ways that he's going to go out on a high, as well as the multiple billions of dollars that the Super Mario movie made. Also a bunch of great games coming out in the last 6 years. He took over for Reggie, which was also a beloved Nintendo of America CEO and president. So it'll be interesting to see who they get to replace Doug Bowser. But I think we can reflect on his short tenure with some positive vibes. As the Nintendo Switch 2 is the fastest selling Nintendo console, so obviously riding that high and going out on that high is a pretty good achievement. Speaking of achievements, PlayStation is looking to commodify your achievements with commemorative merch. So I think this is kind of like the first time they're doing it, where if you have achieved a platinum trophy, you can buy merch to represent that you have done that. Which is pretty cool. Like PlayStation has their direct website, which sometimes sells stuff, and how people got like the PlayStation 30th anniversary controller. But if you achieve a platinum in Ghost of Yotai by the end of the year, you will be able to go to the PlayStation Direct website and buy a T-shirt or a commemorative medal exclusively if you have that achievement. So commodifying achievements is pretty sweet. It's a pretty cool way to get like exclusive merch. They only have to make so many. I'd be curious the person who has to like forecast for that, but they can also like print these things on demand. So hopefully they keep costs down that way. Anyway, pretty exciting stuff. That you can have a very exclusive shirt only if you get those platinum trophies. I've got a bunch of platinum hunting friends, so I can imagine they're excited to pick up Ghost of Yotai and try and platinum it so they can get that exclusive shirt. We finally got to know what the price was for the ROG Ally Xbox version, the ROG kind of Steam Deck-like portable gaming PC. The Xbox version, which was announced that pre-orders were going live, I think in the next week, but that happened a couple weeks ago. But they didn't announce the price, and we were nervous about it then, and now we get to finally see what the price was. Not to bury the lead, $1,000. You can buy this handheld Xbox technology plus ROG Ally handheld gaming PC for $1,000. Not to be hurt or not to add any more tension to the room, but Steam had a Steam Deck sale this week, and their cheapest model is $320 after being $400 normally. So all that suffice to say, I think $1,000 is way too much for kind of a portable gaming PC, even if it has Microsoft technology in it. I actually trust Steam to make hardware more than I trust ROG, even though I have a ROG laptop and Xbox. So, and the fact that this isn't like Microsoft branded, or it's not like an official Microsoft product, it's like from somewhere else, and they're kind of licensing the Xbox portion of it and Xboxing it, I guess, with like the controller. Anyway, I think it's a little expensive, but if you end up picking it up, let me know what you think down below. But it'll go on I think pre-orders start in the next couple weeks, so keep an eye out for that. Riot's League of Legends 2D fighting game, 2XKO, which is just a bunch of numbers and letters and easily forgettable, but is leaving closed beta. It's been on closed beta for a little while now, and it is going into early access, so public early access next week on October 7th. So you will be able to play, I believe with that, their roster is going from 9 to 10, but they haven't announced what the 10th fighter is. And it is going exclusively on PC, which, as someone who has done analytics and worked on fighting games in the past, Mortal Kombat namely, I am very interested. The PC crowd has never been a very large market for fighting games. So I'm interested to see what this kind of PC-only launch, how that kind of commutes, even though League of Legends is very PC focused. So I'm curious how those kind of two pieces of information clash when it goes into early access. But they also announced that there's going to have like 5 seasons. They're going to do a full 1.0 launch next year at some point. Obviously, they want to grow that roster. But if you want to play a PC fighting game with League of Legends characters, 2XKO enters early access on October 7th. Annapurna also had a Tokyo Game Show showcase this week. They had 3 games that were looked pretty sweet, and they caught my eye, so I wanted to talk about them. The first of which was Detopia, which is like a futuristic puzzle game where you're also doing like RPG mechanics and like a lot of relationship management. It's got a really cool look to it, as only Annapurna does. Yeah, it's a puzzle game, futuristic, looks pretty sweet. They have a Zelda-like called Demi and the Fractured Dream, which also sounds like a Zelda game, you know, Zelda and the Ocarina of Time and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's like you're exploring an ancient world. You're some kind of like fey faun like creature. And yeah, it's like a Zelda like. You're gonna be out there exploring and hitting things with swords, and it'll be great. And the last one that caught my eye was a K-pop musical game called People of Note, which seems to be riding the high of K-pop Demon Hunters out of Netflix, but not actually associated with K-pop Demon Hunters. But seems like a good time to release a K-pop musical game. Yeah, called People of Note. As someone who likes musical video games, as you know, somewhat defined by oh god, what's the name of the game? No Gods. Anyway, I'm excited for another musical game. And yeah, would love to play some like a singing RPG. So looking forward to People of Note. Last but not least, how many video games do you think have been made? Like, I was trying to think about it. Like, I know that Steam released a couple, like for the past couple years, they talked about how they've increasingly made more and more games on Steam. I think last year it was like 10K. The year before that it was like 7K games released on Steam. And you know, like that kind of generates a curve, and all the other games that have been released in the past 30 years since Pac-Man. So like, how many games is that? I only ask because it sounds like a Steam user has them all. One Steam user has gotten a very exclusive achievement. Speaking of achievements, this week, as they have acquired 40,000 video games in their Steam library. Insert Steam library memes about how you're never going to be able to play all the games that you own. But yes, this user, I believe they're based in China. But yes, they have achieved a game collector achievement from Steam because they own 40,000 games. Wow, that's apparently it's taken that user over 15 years to acquire all these, which actually seems like a short amount of time considering the length of video games in their entirety. But yeah, what a momentous achievement of a game ownership, none of which will be transferable to your to your kin when you die. So that person is just as a massive list, which they'll probably password share with a couple people so that they can also enjoy the 40,000 or so games. I thought I had a lot with like 1,500 or so. But I digress. That's it for this week. Let me know if you feel I forgot anything down below in the comments. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye!